Okay, so we basically got a before and an after. Okay, now we mentioned the posture in the first instance. Okay, we didn't sort of discuss too much with that going forward. Okay, but in terms of getting that back a bit straighter, so we can do that. But I'd rather get this sort of left wrist working a bit better, and so I think the posture itself is more just a question of you getting a bit more distance, which is not something we're going to worry about so much yet. I think if we're having the club face open, we get more distance. It's further offline. So I'd rather get the ball a bit straighter first, and then perhaps get a better spine angle to get a bit more rotation, maybe, to get some of that distance back into a game that you used to have. Okay, so but the issue now, you said in takeaway, is the club went back, top of the backswing. We got this sort of cupping of the left wrist here as we go in. So there's the left wrist there. Club that was the first one. Yeah. So club face is kind of there, left arm is there. So those two lines we look to try and get a little bit more towards parallel. As I said, it's never going to go to a perfect change there. Okay. But there's your left wrist there. If we look at the club face there, and there's your left arm. So those blue lines now are a little bit more in terms of parallel. So that line there now we're going to get maybe, if you look at that, where that would be, if I go to the red line, so that's kind of, I guess, parallel to your left arm there, give or take. So your club there is 10 degrees open. If we do that one there now, it's... not far at all. It's almost gone the other way, which is probably a good thing, to be fair. So pretty much there. That club's in a position, and the fact we can see more of the faces we can see, if we sort of zoom in just on the club head, you can see the face now, just twist a bit more face up. And for you, it'll always be a slightly face-up position with your left. Well, I think a smidgen, okay, because that will then get the left arm and the club, and the left arm and the left wrist flatter. But I think at the moment, I like progression to be a little bit, in terms of the actual hitting of the golf ball, the progression to be quite close to what it's originally used to be, and do it gradually. In the drills, you can exaggerate it tenfold. But when it comes to hitting the golf ball, if you're changed, for example, if we change your club face and got your left arm got really, really strong, you did over there somewhere, and it'd be too much. So you'd be so far out of your comfort zone. I like you kind of, you're here now with your left wrist, we say, and you want to get kind of here. If you went to kind of this area first and foremost, it'd be so far away from this. You just think, I can't do it, and you'd probably end up in some real heely, hoiky, horrible shots. So the fact you're kind of still fairly close to this, maybe sort of a third of the way down the line, a little bit of cup in there is more of a comfort thing for you. But the club face, you can see, has changed position, which is good. So when the club then comes back to golf ball,
last shot I did?
This I think was one of the penultimate ones. You can see that this is one of the good shots. As you come back to the golf ball now, the club face now nice and square to target, releasing that club to the target, the ball striking the middle of the screen, and very nice shot down the fairway. I think that one just drifted a little bit, just a little bit off there, just leaving that green line. I think that may have been the one that was like sort of 9 yards offline. We take that exactly, and again, the strike was good. And I say in terms of distance, even though it might be a slightly shorter backswing, you're going to get some increased distance by having a more efficient hit, to be fair. Hitting the golf ball now with a square club face or a deflecting club face. I'm sure you can imagine they're going to get more power with that one there. Okay, so work on that left wrist again. Just get the sensation that left wrist is a little bit more flatter to the sky rather than, you said, a bit more cupped in that position there. I mean, you can see there's quite a bit of, if you go down there and then down there, there's quite a bit of angle there with that left wrist, which again, I think part of that came from the fact they want to get a longer backswing. Because if your left wrist stays flat, you've only got so much you can actually hinge in the wrist joint. If you cup it, now it gives you an awful lot more range of motion relative to the other position. So in an attempt to try and get the club to go back a bit further, maybe to gain some of that yardage lost over the last few years, we've incorporated that as well. And I think maybe as well, when you were playing off 7, I'm guessing you were playing a bit more regularly, would you say? Once, twice a week maybe in the regular times, or a lot more or a lot less maybe, I don't know.
Well, I definitely once in the week, 4-18.
So you're playing
with about 4-9 holes.
Exactly. So you're probably playing the best part of 45 holes a week.
Because when my wife was with us, what would happen? My sister-in-law and her would do breakfast. I'd be out on the golf course about 5:30.
Beautiful. Do a quick 9 holes in the.
Take a flask of coffee with me. Sometimes I'd only play 6.
You can just
what I'd do is, bit of bunker play, a bit of chipping, and that's where I kept the shot.
Exactly.
Sometimes I played 9, sometimes I played 12.
But by being a regular play, the timing required to have that face from going from being quite open to closing up, you got good at doing. And that's what happens. And that's where you get to a situation where you can get better at squaring the club face up, but you're doing so in a way that's very difficult. It requires a lot of play, playing week on week out and stuff, thousands of golf balls and so on being hit to get that timing up. There are people on tour. You look at some of these sort of funky swings like the Bubba Watsons and stuff. He either wins majors or misses cuts. His club face is all over the place in terms of where it needs to be. Yes, when he's on, he's as good as anyone in the world. His hand-eye coordination's off the charts. But when he's off, it's like, can he play golf? I think part of that's almost the way he tries to play golf, maybe. But yeah, so if we get a little bit more consistency, so this just stays flat, it'd be like trying to hammer a nail into a bit of wood. You wouldn't go and cup your wrist in that process there.
Where was he playing then? He was in the lead. It was one of the majors over in the States.
Bubba now, is it?
Yeah. And he hit this tee shot, and it was something like 120, 130 yards off the line.
Oh yeah, quite possibly. Yeah. I mean, shots he hit. I mean, I remember.
He should have won that.
I remember watching one actually at Memorial where Jack Nicklaus's course is in Ohio, and he's hit a ball on the par 5. I think he was leading by 1 or 2 at the time. He's hit a ball on the par 5. He was at 13 or 14, and the bloopers looked down the golf and see where the ball's gone, and it's ended up in someone's like back garden somewhere. And they turned to Jack and they go, "That must be out of bounds then, Jack." And he said, "I don't know where that is." He didn't know where. He said, he must be out of bounds. I'm not even sure where that actually is on the golf course. That's how far offline he was from the golf course. So yeah, you do that, it's just like, yeah, you know you're struggling. So we can work on that left wrist, practice some of that. Again, just maybe do some work just with one arm, swings that left arm. Generally, it seems to be more effective when you finger up the left wrist. You might fit it more on the right wrist, I don't know, but most guys sort of fit that left wrist there because that's the one that's less dominant, to be fair. So work on that, get that club face back, and then we can go from there. Okay, makes sense? Good man.